Hello, everyone. It's your favorite host, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. And today I have an incredible guest, Mr. David Sauers. He's the co-founder and CEO of Royal Restrooms. This man is absolutely incredible. And Mr. Sauers is running an incredible business and now franchise business. He now has over 50 office locations across the country, and he's growing. He's been at this since 2004, and he is absolutely unstoppable, killing it in an industry that I never thought would be possible. But here I got this incredible guest who's making time for us on the Gentleman Style Podcast stage to share and give insight and wisdom to what it is he does. So help me welcome to the stage, coming to this Gentleman Style Podcast platform, Mr. David Sauers. Welcome.
Man, thank you. That's just like, wow. I should have people just introduce me, because that's just such a buildup of confidence. Like, hey, wait a second, that's you.
That is
like,
you.
Wow.
That is you. And it's my absolute honor to introduce you in that way. You are an incredible man, and you're doing something absolutely profound and necessary and unique. First off, I want to ask a question. Sir, what's up with all the purple? Is purple your favorite color? Is it a passion thing, or is royalty? What's the reason behind all the purple everywhere?
Yeah, so you can see my background. Everything I do every day is purple. I just had to lean into it. Royalty, Royal Restrooms, it started to symbolize that purple. That was one of our brand colors. And next thing I know, I'm going to wear it. And it took quite a number of years to kind of get comfortable to showcase purple. But now I've got 15 purple suits. I got 20 pair of purple shoes. I wear purple socks, purple belts, you name it. I'm always in purple. And it's a little, sometimes I guess it can be uncomfortable, but I wear it on my sleeve. I need to make sure that if maybe I'm not interesting, I'm at least memorable by the color.
Absolutely. And you're both. You're interesting, and it's a very memorable color. That just goes to show it caught my attention because I see it on all your branding. So fantastic job.
Thank you.
Mr. Sauers, I want to ask a question, because what you do is a unique industry. You own a luxury portable restroom franchise business. I want to ask, where did it get started for you? When did the light bulb go off? Because you could have done anything, but you chose restroom luxury portable restrooms. Can you explain why?
Sure, Marcus. So our origin story is probably not that dissimilar from an experience that you may have had with a portable restroom. Portable toilets were just the standard, kind of the necessary evil of an outdoor event and festival. You just knew that was going to be part of it, so you just accepted it and moved on. My experience began really where I felt like we needed to make a change was I was taking my daughters we were at a Shakespeare in the Park festival. My oldest was potty training. My youngest is in my arms, and I took them to a portable toilet. It was dark. It was dank. I turned around. She's got her hands on the lid. She's looking down in the hole, and she's like, "Why are we going in a bucket?" And it's like, you get this cringe moment of, "Oh, don't touch. Don't do anything." And you start looking around, and it's still dark in here. I can't move. I'm touching stuff. She's touching stuff. So I hand Cece out to someone standing in line behind me, and I'm pretty nervous about doing that. So I kick open the door just a little bit with my left leg, and I'm holding Stella over the porta-potty, and all of a sudden she just pees all over me. So I go from, cringing to just upset and angry. And I walk out. There's nowhere to wash my hands. There's nowhere to clean. It's hard to see everything that's going on. And I look out over the field, and they got lights in the trees. They've got, these festive tents. They've got chandeliers. They've got all this stuff. And it's like, wait a second. We have all this, and we go to a porta potty. like, what's going on here? I mean, hotels don't have porta potties. Your house doesn't have. But why is this? It's not like this is rocket science here, man. We have RVs, we have trailers. Like, why is this just the accepted norm? And so that's kind of how the business originated and started. The idea, kind of like, we can do something different, and we just did. My business partner Robert Glisson and I, we put we together, and we made it happen. And it was not too long afterwards that people took hold of what we were trying to do, and they're like, you know what, we're not going back. We see the value in what you're doing. We see, this should be normal. This is one of the most private things that we still do as human beings. I think you said earlier on one of your podcasts, like, money is one of your favorite things, but it's still a private thing. It's you you talk to very private. Well, same as going to the bathroom. That's where we take a moment. That's something that makes people uncomfortable, and we want to make people comfortable.
And so that negative experience, that cringe moment that you spoke about, is what catapults you, and you realize you could do it better. You realize you and your partner could do this a lot better, a lot cleaner, a lot more sanitized. And so, what was it that to do a restroom business? I want to speak to the business owners out there who may want to invest one day in a franchise. So, what is it? What is it? Is it hard? Is it difficult to open a portable restroom business? What did you need to get started? Was it the capital? Was it the engineers to put these restrooms together? Because your restrooms are unique. Like, it's like you said, it's luxury, and they're built up, right? Or
Yes, they are. And no, our business as a whole mirrors a lot of other businesses as well. We all have the same issues, from capital to standing, to employees, to being sustainable, marketing, website. Every business has the same fundamentals and tools that you need. Restrooms is not all that different. You need to understand their market. You need to know who you're going to market against, and then you have to have some technical knowledge. And along with that just comes with experience. When Robert and I started, we were a brand new business. So there was no, I guess, anything to model after. So we had to create all of that, which is how we got into the franchising side, is because people wanted to do what we did, and we were able to teach them how to do it.
absolutely, that makes sense. That makes sense. So to what kind of chemicals are involved in a portable restroom, or are these restrooms hooked up to its own? Is it stored, or is it dispensed off? How does a portable potty work? Because when I think portable potty, before I found you, I think those blue blends, and there's liquid down in the bottom, and it's kind of a reservoir, and it just holds it until someone comes and takes it off site. How do your portable restrooms differ from those?
Well, our bathrooms are real functioning restrooms, just on a trailer. So we're basically a mobile septic tank. We have a large holding tank under the trailer, but it is still in the trailer. We have flushing toilets. We have running sinks. We have vanities. It's climate controlled. So it's a real bathroom. It's just on a trailer.
Absolutely. What about air conditioning? Air conditioning?
Yes, air conditioned,
Wow.
heated. I mean, we've even had bidets put in there on some of them when we've done certain events. We had TVs at one time, but people stayed in there a little too long. We do some ambient music, to just kind of break that up a little bit. But yeah, our trailers are, they disrupted and changed the industry. But to getting more back to what you're talking about, we do use chemicals in there. The main chemical that we use is called Porta-Clear, which is I guess, a non-invasive chemical. It won't hurt you if it gets on you. It won't affect the environment, and it really breaks everything down so that there's no smell. There's no, I guess, real hard contaminant chemicals in the product to break everything down. from that standpoint, we pump the trailer out just like you would do an RV, and it goes to the waste management service.
I love it. I love it. And so this is very unique. How much support when getting started did you need when you first got into this business? Was there a lot of family support? Did you take an SBA loan? Did you take a small business loan? How much support did you receive for starting this business now franchise?
Well, Robert and I both had our, jobs that we were fairly, prominent in the community. He was an environmental engineer. I was a commercial banker at a local bank. We got next to no support. Everyone thought we were pretty crazy for trying to start a porta potty business, and one that, quite frankly, nobody understood. Our support came from, well, even our family thought we were crazy, but our support came from our immediate family. But really, Robert and I, we leaned on each other. We talked a lot about this, and that vision, we just knew that we could make something of it. And if we failed, okay, we failed, but we still tried, and we write it off.
Well,
that's what happens.
What were some of your biggest obstacles? Was it licensure? Was it getting insured? Was it learning about the business? Because you just touched on it. It was like no one else is doing this to your high level. So how did you learn, and how did you have to overcome some obstacles?
It was a lot of trial and error, and a lot of huge hiccups that cost us mistakes, time, money. But the thing that kept us going was every event that we went to was such a positive reaction, and you wouldn't believe it, but we would have people. We'd do a wedding, and that's really who we targeted first because they had the money for extra expense. They were like, the bathroom was the hit of our wedding. More people took pictures of the bathroom than the bride. And that was kind of like uplifting. So it just kind of started to take off a little bit at a time, more and more. Everybody that sat down on our bathroom said they weren't going to something else. They hey, this is what we need. And from there, we went to events. We went to nonprofit events. We marketed to the community to help out nonprofits and be more part of that community to get exposure, but also to, reinvest that way. And by doing that, it continued to grow. And from there, we just expanded. People saw the need. They wanted to bring it back to their city. They wanted to bring it back to their hometown because they realized that they needed it.
Has the experience, great point, and I love the fact that you broke it down this way. Was there during the time, because you've been doing this since 2004, has there always been high demand for Royal Restrooms, or has there ever been a slump? Did the 2008 market crash affect you guys? Has there ever been a slow period or a down period for you guys?
Yes. So it has. Those early years were, there wasn't any competition. There was, we were the only kind of game in town. We were the first to market. We were the first to kind of build this. And we marketed it different than your traditional porta potty. So in the beginning, we were almost all that you had from an event experience. And we marketed ourselves more as from a professional service rather than a sanitation service. 2008, though, yes, we were a lot more expensive than your traditional porta potty. So we took a major hit for a number of years. But the thing that we did realize was the events and the festivals that used our product, they were the ones that were more successful. I'm not saying it was just because of our product, but people stayed longer. People were more, if they had family, it made a difference with their children, whether or not they were going to leave. And we found that people were staying longer, they were spending more money, and the repeat customers for next year, the reviews were, overwhelmingly more positive than porta potties. But as the years have gone on, yes, there's a lot more demand in the market. There's a lot more companies that do exactly what we do. But with COVID, people became a lot more aware that, sanitation, clean restrooms were an important. So the society as a whole put a lot more emphasis on our product. So the last few years, portable restroom trailers has grown exponentially. I figure to say that in the last 2 to 3 years, there's been more trailers produced than there has been in the last 20 years.
So there's definite demand. There's a huge demand
There's huge demand.
Absolutely. What's been the most surprising use of these luxury 5-star porta potties? Any high profile tickets, celebrity restrooms been called to Hollywood to
Yes.
put your really?
We've done all that. We've done a lot of high profile weddings. We've done a lot of high profile corporate events, birthday parties, surprise birthday parties. I'm trying to remember where it was, but we went up to Maine or something for, a very well-known author and writer's birthday. So I can't mention it, but those are the kind of things that we have enjoyed doing. And the amount of people I was telling my wife not too long ago, I wish that I would have gotten a picture with all the different celebrities that I've met over the years and been a part of to see. And it's, it's not a monotonous job, and you never know what's going to happen. Like I said, we could do a celebrity wedding, we could do a feature film, we could do a commercial, we could do a disaster response like the floods and the tornadoes that just happened, or we do someone's graduation, or we just, we do festivals in general all over that you just didn't necessarily know were a part of the community because you just can't physically do all of that.
Absolutely. Have you ever Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I have not met him, but I've met
President Trump, Donald Trump, the White House.
Yes, we've met Trump, Obama, Biden, Carter. They have used our restrooms for numerous events. Like President Carter, we did his 100th anniversary when he turned up 100, I think it was, or one of the birthdays. We've done some weddings for some president's children.
How do they contact you? Is it their head of security, their admin? Was it an email? How does the president? How do he find you?
Usually the web, or just from our presence from being around for so long. We've been vetted. It's kind of crazy. We've got a couple offices that actually have President Obama's and actual speech that he had written and used at the podium and then put into the trash can. So it's honestly, I can't say for sure because it's not something that we would go and publicize. They've just contacted us through our channels, usually by phone. They don't tell us exactly what's going on. It's kind of that, low profile event. It's like, this is for they'll tell us this is for, an event that cannot be publicized. You're not going to know who it is. And it's just like when they do a feature film, the feature film may be, it's not the name of what the film actually is. It's some other kind of production so that you don't talk about it.
Wow. Okay. So they got put some anonymity.
There's pseudonyms in there.
Yeah. Makes sense. All right. It's absolutely incredible. Incredible. We are going to go to a quick commercial break, you guys, but don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Support for Gentleman Style Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers you precision engineering tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off free worldwide shipping with the code GENTSTYLE at manscaped.com.
Good day, podcast listeners. This is your boy, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I wanted to let you guys know that we will be rolling out a new feature and adding a join sponsor button next to the subscriber button here at the bottom of your screen. Once you click the button, it will display 3 membership levels. Gentleman Gentry, which is our entry level. Duke Duchess, which is our season level. And the Emperor and Empress, which is our most sophisticated level, which you will receive unique perks and benefits at each differing level and gain access to our community tab. We will also be sharing polls, upcoming events, and interviews, as well as receive feedback from our sponsors directly. Your support helps me find new and exciting guests to bring to the stage live. Well, in order to get the higher end speakers, it requires, you guessed it, money. So thank you for tuning in to my channel. And if becoming a sponsor sounds good to you, then select the join button below and choose your desired sponsor level. Let's continue to grow and serve the future of generations of men and women to come. Love you guys. Bye. We are back to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show, and today we have the incredible Mr. David Sauers spilling the tea on Royal Restrooms, his company doing it big in the public restroom space, and he's been killing it. Him and his company have been doing this since 2004. He shared the struggles, the hurdles he had to overcome, and how and why portable restrooms are the business to invest to today. And so we if you missed any of that, go back, scroll back, and check him out. He's absolutely amazing. Mr. Sawyer, you touched on how that there's a growing demand for the portable restroom business, and you've done everybody in between. You've done celebrities, presidents. Everyone needs a portable restroom at their event, at their wedding, at their ceremony. And so that is absolutely huge. I want to talk business. How much should someone have to get started in the portable restroom franchise business? To get started with you, how much money do you recommend they have on hand?
Right. So, Marcus, that's a great question. And our business is a little bit different than your traditional businesses. In other words, when we start out, we don't just open up and you have a flood of business coming in. Most of our events, you have to get out there and talk about it, and you have to explain what it is. They're also 6 months to 12 months down the road before you start really getting a solid book of business, because it's not like somebody needs a restroom the next day unless it's some type of an emergency. So our cost starts out at, our average franchise cost is around $30,000. And we try to set you up with at least 2 restroom trailers to begin with. And that starts to get you out in the market. It starts to get you out in the public and get you some business exposure. From that, as we see rentals that come across in the coming months, you start to know what kind of trailer that you may need next. So your target market in the beginning, the easiest thing to target is weddings, but your market may have shifted more to festivals or community events, or it could be long-term use like a business remodel or something. that's where we kind of help guide and steer you on exactly what you need. A lot of times we will tell our offices, if you're getting a SBA loan or if you're doing this, you need at least $250,000 to $300,000. You may only spend $100,000 to get started, but you need, every time you buy a new trailer, it's like buying a brand new car. So after year 2, you may have 6 to 8 trailers. Well, all of a sudden you're at $300,000 or $400,000 now in trailers, because the average one costs somewhere around $30,000 to $50,000 a piece, and then when you get into more specialized ones, they can go all the way up to $100,000.
Absolutely.
So it's a slow progression. You don't have the upfront cost, but the cost continues to build.
What's the maintenance on a trailer? What's the upkeep and maintenance cost should I be projecting for the maintenance and upkeep? You said start with 2 trailers. That's his and her restrooms. So 2. So total of 4 available trailers units inside each trailer unit. So what's the maintenance? Are these motorized? You said some of them have air conditioning. What's the cost on the chemicals? Can you talk about those expenditures?
Yeah, absolutely. So we use our primary, I guess, manufacturers are Jag and Satellite, Wells Cargo. These are very fine-tuned trailers. They are built for, I guess, the commercial use. They can withstand multiple beatings. So the overall expense for the first couple years is very minimal. If something breaks, it's usually operator error. In other words, you've used too much electricity, or you've let the water pump run out and you've burned out a pump or something like that. Or it could be from possible weather conditions. You could have, the trailer could freeze, which then you are blowing out sinks, toilet valves, and plumbing. Other than that, the trailers usually have about a 5 to 6 year lifespan without any major mechanical problems or refurbishments. So that's a relatively low expense. I would probably say less than $1,000 a year to begin with, unless it, like I said, it's misused or accidentally vandalized by somebody, standing on a toilet or something weird.
Absolutely. Where do I keep my trailer once I buy it? I've invested at $30,000. Where do I keep my trailer? Should I keep it in like a Walmart parking lot as just advertisement? Because I can see the potential use of these things as billboards, right? In the beginning, and that could be a piece of marketing right there, where I'm leaving it in a legal location. I'm not just leaving it in someone's front lawn, but I'm leaving it in a legally state compliant location, and it's kind of creating advertisement all on its own, because it also looks like a big billboard. What are your thoughts on that? What do I do with my trailer when I get it?
Yeah, so absolutely. You make a great point of, I don't think I've actually ever parked it at a Walmart parking lot, but we have driven the trailers around town just to create that buzz. Like, what is that? Where is that going? Because it is something that people stop and look at. Wonder what it is, and they pull up, and then you find out what the uses are. Most of the people that have these trailers, they either buy a piece of property to hold them on. A lot of people keep them on their residential properties. In other words, it may be somebody that lives 15, 20 minutes outside of town, and they've got a couple acres. We have some that put them in rental storage, like the storage yards, where that's like where you would park an RV or a boat. But most of them end up having a piece of property where they have a storefront, but it's not really a storefront where people are coming in to see you. It's more of a cleaning station. It's where you do your bookkeeping. It's where you keep your supplies, and you make sure that the trailers are properly maintained in order to service the events.
Absolutely. I'm seeing these things have showers These are full blown everything you need restrooms, luxury 5-star restrooms. Is that correct? Am I seeing correct?
Oh
Absolutely,
yeah. I
showers
mean,
easy.
I can tell you firsthand that I've taken many showers in my trailers, and it was an absolute the best shower that we've had, because we're often at a festival that is long days, or we're at some type of an emergency response, and having a shower, it just kind of resets you. I have to have a shower. It's hard for me to get motivated when I'm icky feeling, sticky. Like, I'm in South Georgia, so it's 95 degrees. I want a shower. I can't just go lay down somewhere and not.
Absolutely, that's fair, and I'm glad I'm with you. I have to take a shower, or else I start feeling sticky. And you're right; it does reset the day. It does reset how you feel about yourself and everything. You look good, you smell good, you are good, right? And so,
Yeah.
very, very true. This is Mr. David Sawyer, spilling the tea on Gentleman Style Podcast Show, helping us learn about the luxury portable restroom business. Absolutely. One more round of applause for Mr. Sawyers.
Take a bow.
You should. You should. Absolutely incredible. Mr. Sawyer, you spoke on the portable restroom business has a great, great future. What are some lessons that you wish someone had shared with you in the early stages? What lesson or feedback would you give to that entrepreneur looking at you and potentially saying, I can't do this portable restroom business? It looks like a lot of heavy lifting. I have to maintain these things. It looks intimidating, right? It looks scary to a first timer. What would you say to someone looking at you right now who needed that stroke of confidence?
I would say that that's probably one of the advantages of our business, or else it would be just such an explosion of franchises all across the country, because so many people feel that it's a dirty business, or nasty, and it's really not. It's People respect the trailers. They are excited about the business, and I hear this from so many different people, that our workers, our employees that deliver the trailer, they may be not necessarily, they're not the outgoing type, but they find that talking about the bathroom is easy. It's almost like people just open up to them and connect. Like, this is so great. This looks wonderful. Like, I can't believe this. People are going to be so excited, and they're proud of what they do. And we are, for the most part of some of people's most memorable events, and we play a small part in it. But also, from a community standpoint, we help the community. We're involved with the community, and there's this. Maybe pride is the right word. You feel good about the business that we're doing, and we enjoy that. But it's hard to tell other people that we are a great business to get into, because they see just the restroom side, and so many people are just like, that's just ick. But everyone likes to go to the bathroom in comfort, and they want it to be pleasant, and that's what we provide, and that's what we're good at.
Absolutely. I want to look at a map. Have you noticed any demographics, or different demographics have different needs? Like, the westernly side or the northern side may have less use of an air conditioning portable restroom because it's colder, right? Versus the south, it's hotter, it's sweaty, you get stickier. So you may, if I was a franchise or potential franchise owner interested in the south, I may want a restroom, or I may need to go straight into getting a model of the restrooms, the showers, and the air conditioning. Are there any demographic data that you can speak to about that?
Not necessarily from the air conditioned side, but there is, and we're strong up in the Northwest, on the West Coast, and then we go up from Colorado and Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. And then we kind of shift all the way across up to Virginia. We just opened an office in Ohio. And that, there is a seasonality part of our business, especially, there's about 15 or 16 weeks up from an event space up in the like Washington State, whereas California has more of a year round. But even here in Georgia and Florida, our event season ranges usually from March to about June, and then it's just too hot to do anything outside. And then we pick back up in September until November. But there again, you look at Colorado and Utah, they have a busy season during the winter because they put restrooms up on the mountains for all the ski lifts, all the people coming in for that. So we can do a number of different things. Where we are hugely weak on is the Northeast, New York, Pennsylvania, Michigan. We get a ton of business from there, and a lot of times we just can't handle it. There's a difference in traffic. We're able to drive 100 miles if we want. Somebody in New York, 100 miles is a long freaking way, and it's an all-day expense. So it's, there are different challenges that each region faces. But I would say that most of the people up in the Northeast, they're also worried about the winter months. And this is a lot more year-round business now, that it's not so just event driven. We do a lot of business remodels, like a lot of McDonald's, a lot of your Home Depots, a lot of your Targets. They will remodel more in the wintertime because they're not as busy. So there's less traffic going in. Well, by using our facilities, because we're OSHA approved, they can knock out the bathrooms twice as fast, because instead of just remodeling one restroom at a time, they can do the men's, the women's, the family all at once in roughly 2.5 weeks, whereas this used to be a 5 to 6 week job.
Wow.
Now it's, they can do the whole thing at once by putting one of our trailers out there. So we do a lot more business on that remodel side, but also peak season, like UPS, FedEx, Amazon. During that December month, they've got triple the capacity. Well, by law, they have to provide additional restrooms for all that additional support staff. So we've got trailers coming in from Georgia and Texas, and they're going all over the place because we don't have a presence up in the Northeast.
So you need franchise owners in the upper Northeast. You said Pennsylvania, New York, Michigan. Those states have a huge demand, and it's hard to fill. And you said, did you also include Virginia or no?
Yeah. So we do have an office in Virginia, but we need more offices. We have an office in Lynchburg, Virginia, that tries to service all of that. And then we have one in Marietta, Ohio. But the more offices that we have, the more awareness we have. It's not so much, people are always worried about, there's another company that does this. No. The more awareness, the more that it is out there, the more, product awareness that we have, the more business that we all incorporate. Even from my business, we talk to office owners and they're like, oh, wait, you're going to open an office 200 miles from me? It's like, guys, look, y'all are working together. We're on the same team. And now you have somebody working this market rather than a competitor.
Absolutely.
It's not going to take anything away from you. And a lot of times I get, but we did $50,000 there last year. And I'm like, you know what? And you'll probably do 100,000 in trailer rentals with them, coming up, because you've got somebody dedicated in that market that's working that market.
Absolutely. That's huge. Huge. So what makes a good franchise owner? That's question one. And then my second question is, what makes, how do I get compensated as a trailer owner? How do I charge for a wedding? How do I charge for a presidential event? Is it Is it by the hour? Are they leasing it? Is it by the day? You know, those are my two questions to start with. So you can take your pick on which one you want to start on.
So we'll start who we want as an owner operator is somebody that is going to get along with our program. But it is essentially like we're getting married. You know, we're partnering together. We have one vision and we have one goal. We may go about things a little bit differently, but we're still, you know, our focus is building the brand and building business. We want somebody who is in the community, somebody who is a community leader, and somebody that wants to leave some type of impact and legacy. We don't necessarily really like an owner operator that is not directly involved in the business, because it's, you know, they need to be able to wear this on their sleeve. They need to understand the business in order to teach the business how we've taught them. So finding quality business leaders are who we want in our market and who we want in our industry. Somebody that, you know, that takes pride in what they do. And if it's not done right, you know, they're affected by it.
Absolutely.
From, you know, how you get compensated, yes, every event is differently, is priced out a little different, but it all has the same basic structure. We usually do a by the day rental, then we do maybe a day and a half charge if it's a weekend event, and then we go to a week, and then we may go to a 2-week price, and then we go to a month. And the main reason that we do it that way is we've already done the work by delivering it and picking it up. It costs us the same to clean it. It costs us the same to pump it. It costs us the same whether it's only for a few hours or for the weekend. We charge additionally for a 2-day rental like that in case we have to come out and pump it, or we need to clean it during the interval to make sure that it is up to not only your standard, but our standard. We don't want to look bad in any way.
So we clean these every 2 days?
So sometimes we clean them after, you know, each day. Sometimes we'll have an attendant on site. So like if you're looking for that presidential perspective, yes, you know, we would have someone on site to make sure that it is prestigious after each event, or after each guest, excuse me.
Makes sense.
But we clean usually when we get back to the office. So it's after every event. We clean it right there. When it gets done with the event, we make sure that it's pumped out properly. We make sure that it's ready to go on to the next event. If we're doing a weekly or monthly rental, we will usually come out every 2 to 3 days to make sure that it's cleaned. But a lot of times we try to tell your staff, whoever is renting the trailer, it's a normal bathroom, so it takes the same amount of cleaning that you had prior to that. So if you already have a janitorial service, that there's not anything special that they're having to do.
Makes sense. So the event or the location can include, who's renting it for long term, can include that in their regular routine cleans and maintenance of a regular restroom, because it is a regular restroom. It's not an exception or anything like that. So powerful. So I can get paid hourly. I can get paid by the weekend. I can get paid by the length of time. And is there a deposit? Do I collect a deposit, or do I, you know?
Yes. So typically with what we recommend is we do a 50% deposit, and then you are paid up once prior to the event, before delivery. Now, when we work with tent rental companies or wedding planners and stuff like that, there's different terms. And also when we're working with larger construction companies, there's different terms. But typical event companies and stuff like that, yeah, we have our festivals, we have more expense up front. So we'll take a 50% deposit and then collect prior to delivery.
Absolutely. Can this business run? This is a big question. Can this business be run passively, or how involved do I need to be as a business owner? Because you said when I asked you about what kind of franchise owner are you looking for, you're looking for someone who's looking to make change in the community. Well, in order for me to be a man of the community, I gotta be out. I gotta be kissing babies. I gotta be hugging and shaking hands and meeting presidents, right? So, how involved do I need to be as a business owner? Can it be hands off, completely hands off, or there always has to be my involvement in the franchise?
No. So in the beginning, it's very important that you learn each facet of the business. So it's important that it's not something that you have to stay on top of. It's something that you can teach. But as the owner, we still want, you're the marketer. We can only help you so much from a web presence. It's your market. You need to know how to market within your market. You have to be exactly what you said. You have to be out in the public. You have to be part of the Chamber of Commerce. You have to go to those meetings. You have to shake the hands. You have to kiss the babies. You have to remember, who's who in the community in order to truly be successful. But being hands-on, delivering trailers, fixing the trailers yourself, all that, that's not what we're looking for from an owner. We want them to know how to do it. We want them to know how to solve a problem. But we expect you to pass that on to somebody else. You're building this business so that you're not actually having to work the business every single day. And this business will build upon its own, and it will take a little life of its own. And you kind of have to take a back seat, and you have to relinquish that control. You have to tell, who's answering the lines, who's booking the clients, who's cleaning, who's in charge of delivering, who's making sure that these trailers are all properly maintained. Those are jobs that you should know every facet of, but you shouldn't be in charge of them on a day-to-day basis anymore.
Absolutely. I want to talk because these bathrooms are ADA compliant restrooms, and so they support and they're compliant fully. When I hear regulations, I think government. If you had unlimited and policies and regulators and a lot of regulation around these, if you had unlimited resources, how would you innovate the luxury restroom experience? You've mentioned some very incredible things I never even imagined, like music, ventilation, AC, air conditioning. You are already luxury. But if you had unlimited resources, what's the next innovation in this industry that you would change or you would add to the luxury restroom experience?
Well, that's a great question. I think that we have started to do that. For so many years, we have continued to build the interior out more luxurious. I mean, we've even had a few trailers that have small fireplaces in them, the LED fireplaces. But it's not something that is picturesque from the outside. I mean, a lot of these things look like big white cargo trailers out at an event, and that's been one of our biggest complaints through the years from your wedding planners, your event planners, is now that we've gotten over the hurdle of it doesn't smell, you don't have to put it so far away because of the smell. Now they're putting it out of the way because it's a big white trailer or gray trailer or black trailer, and it doesn't fit from a picturesque standpoint. People know what it is. It's not that it's an eyesore. It's they want something a little nicer on the outside. And what we've come up with is our vintage trailer, and it is a polished stainless steel that mirrors the surroundings. It's got rounded edges on it, so it's a much softer feel. But when you put it out into a setting, it reflects everything else that is going on around you, and you don't know that is now a restroom trailer. It looks like it's part of the event. Yes, there it is. There's one of them right there. So it's absolutely beautiful out at the scene, and it really just elevates that. And when you go inside, everything is bronze gold, so it really it really hits home like, wow, I've never been in anything like this.
So you would continue to develop this model, or it sounds like you've already perfected it. Is that what I'm understanding? These are already perfected models and they're out in the public. You've already innovated every innovation?
Well, I wouldn't say that I've done everything. There's always continued room for improvement, and I am sure that that we will continue to make this product even better. But for right now, it is probably the most attractive restroom trailer out on the market, and the wow response. We were just at the Cleveland Wedding Show. We actually got fan favorite at the Cleveland Wedding Show, and I want to say there's like 30,000 people that came through there, and a restroom company is what gets fan favorite. That's pretty amazing. A bathroom company gets fan favorite. Of course, they were all entertained by me. I'm out there making a fool of myself in my purple velvet suit and gold Gucci shoes. But hey,
sharp. And I'm in agreements with you. These are absolutely 5-star luxury restrooms, y'all. This is an incredible business. Sir, do you see a future for artificial intelligence to enter the space? Do you see any potential opportunity, right? Because AI is the buzzword right now. Do you see opportunity for artificial intelligence and smart technology playing a role in the luxury restroom business?
Certainly. I mean, we're doing that right now. Our new CRM system that we're trying to roll out with Go High, top line management is doing that. AI creates, allows us to be, more responsive in questioning and responsiveness to our clients from the initial starting point when they find us all the way to, follow up past the event. AI is, it's scary that how much of an impact this can really truly make on your business. And we're just scratching the surface of it. And what I think that it can do for us is, it truly puts our clients first and allows us the ability to really see where we're winning and see where we need improvement.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're continuing to grow, y'all. You heard it here first on the Gentleman Style Pocket. Some of these even have fireplaces in them. That is luxury. I can't think of any more luxury than that. Could I stick one more minute on regulation? If you had the ability to change anything in the industry as far as regulation goes or standards goes, what's your wish? What's one wish that you could change regulation wise? Increase, decrease, or add in to regulations that guide this luxury space? Because you've been doing this since 2004, so you've accumulated a lot of wisdom. And so what's one thing that you see could help the business in the future as far as regulation goes?
That's a great point, and it's kind of a hard one because it always has to do with money. But all of these different festivals and events that you go to, a lot of them are still focused on putting porta potties, and I get that it's cheap, it's easy, but I would like to see more regulations into providing facilities like what we have. I mean, you can't just go and cook, a concession stand or have food trucks without regulations, and that costs a lot of money. How is it that we can just kind of get by with having porta potties at some of these festivals from a city standpoint? You won't allow a porta potty for a business to open for its clients, so why would you let a festival do that? You make those standards for a business, but yet you allow it for a festival. you know, our product, and I'm not saying, you know, like I said, it's a touchy subject, it's a touchy situation, but we do present, you know, a more sanitary option, something that is, you know, by people washing their hands with, you know, with soap, and they're drying their hands off. But we're also, you know, we're providing a lot of jobs, and we are present in the community. We're doing things that uplift that, and I think more of a, you know, regulation is you need something like this, our product for handicap, for the patrons going. If you're providing food or something, I think there just needs to be some kind of regulation that prompts up our business just a little bit more. And, you know, we're happy to work with everybody and do that.
Absolutely. I love that. A true heart of gold, y'all. I forgot to mention that earlier in the podcast. A true heart of gold. Mr. Sawyer, I'm being a bit selfish here, and I wanted to kind of just pick your brain. I see myself getting frustrated at a client, right? Let's say I'm a franchise owner. I've placed my first location, and like you said, someone destroys the bathroom. A young man or a young girl is standing and destroys the toilet seat. That can be frustrating. What as building this business from the ground up, from the literal framework, what has building Royal Restrooms taught you about human nature and people's tendency and things that you see in society happening? What has this business taught you and you've learned from and you've gained wisdom from about human nature?
So this is a little bit on point with what you're talking about, but the women's bathroom is usually a lot dirtier than the men's, which
Really?
is something that you would not believe, but yes, that is true. I know women all across are going to be like, that's crazy. But women are more dirty when it comes to the bathroom, when you're looking at cleanup and stuff like that. Like I said, something that you would never think about, but
I didn't.
It is. I can say that more women do wash their hands, but more women leave a mess. The frustrations, I think, that comes along with the business and what you expect, don't take it personal. As entrepreneurs, as small business owners, we are naturally, looking for a problem. There's problems. We solve problems. That's what we do. And there are going to be situations that you have to look beyond it. You have to and just say, all right, we're just going to go to the next thing and just forget about it.
That's real. That's real. Powerful. This has been a fantastic conversation. Mr. Sawyer, you dropped so many nuggets this episode. You dropped so much wisdom and insight and on this podcast episode. And I truly appreciate what you do, sir. I want to say, how can people connect with you? How can people learn from you? And people looking to get into business or ask you personal questions directly, how can people find you?
Yeah, so right. RoyalRestrooms.com is our primary website. We're on all the socials under Royal Restroom as well. You can find me under David Sauers on LinkedIn, or if you want, you can get through me through Royal Restrooms. Always happy to help. I love working with people. I love talking with people about our business and just small business in general, because it's all the same. It's all the same. And it's another way that, makes me feel good to give back to the community and the world.
Absolutely. Thank you for giving back, and connect, y'all. That also goes for our audio listeners as well. Royal Restrooms, that's Royal_Restrooms on Instagram, or royalrestrooms.com. Check him out. This man is absolutely fabulous, and his company. If you're considering franchising, consider this business, because it's going up and to the left. Thank you,
That's
Mr.
it.
Sawyers. I appreciate you so much. And thank you all for tuning into the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I hope this message has served you all. I hope this information has been connectful and insightful and impactful to let you know that you're not stuck at the day job. You don't have to keep doing that day job that you don't like. There is another way. And restrooms may be that way. And so check it out. All right, like we end every show, take care of your friends, take care of your family, and always, always take care of business. This is Marcus, your favorite gentleman, and the incredible Mr. David Sauers signing off.
Thank you so much.
Love you guys. Bye.